The boat behind me is Thalassa. She is a 49-foot canoe stern fishing boat with an absolutely fascinating and intriguing history. She is for sale. Peter, the owner, has invited me down today to take you through on a full boat walkthrough. There is a lot to show you. I think you're going to be absolutely intrigued with the history of this boat and what she's become today. So let's jump on board and take a look. Thalassa started life as a cray fishing boat, what we might call a lobster fishing boat, off the coast of Tasmania, notoriously rugged waters. She's a timber hulled boat. You can see there her being constructed in Tasmania. But in 2011 she was actually bought and underwent a complete refit and renovation by Andrew Strachan, who you can see there on screen. Andrew actually was a renowned yacht sailor and won the 1993 Sydney to Hobart in terrible conditions that actually unfortunately killed a number of people, and very few boats finished, and they won that race on a very small boat. So Andrew, obviously a very experienced and a champion sailor, wanted a motorboat that he could convert and go exploring, and he found Thalassa. So she's actually, as I said, a wooden hull boat. Those decks you can see, they're celery top pine, which is a wood which is native to Tasmania, very, very hard wearing. You can see there, that's the power dinghy derrick. The dinghy's just off the boat at the moment, and those covers that you can see there, there's a cabin at the stern of the boat, which we'll go exploring a little bit later. It's a two-cabin, two-head layout. That's the life raft that you can see there. And obviously, being a fishing boat, it does have that classic trawler style, which is obviously it's very very popular and very desirable. But what we might do is skip up the port side, and that classic, that fantastic life ring there. And we'll just move forward, and there's a couple of things to show you here. So as you can see here, you can see these large three lockers. Well, they look like lockers. Two of those actually were extra fuel tanks. You can see there some of the anchor, the deck gear. That windlass is controlled wirelessly internally. She's fitted with a 55 kilo anchor as well as a parachute sea anchor. So Andrew had thought of everything when he was putting the boat together. But a considerable amount of work obviously went in to Thalassa to convert it from a fishing boat essentially into a long-range cruising boat. You can see that fuel nozzle input just there. Pretty special looking. And as we move into the salon, as I said at the start, the pilot house was actually extended by about 2 metres when Andrew had the boat renovated, and that gave more space internally. Obviously you need some comfort when you're cruising long distances, and so this area here, the lounging table and some seating areas, was able to be extended, and that's the stairs down to the first of those 2 cabins that I mentioned. We'll skip down into that in a second, and then the forward of that is the galley and the first of the 2 cabins. Why don't we take a little look at the helm, because it's a really well equipped boat. It's fitted with, as you can see there's 2 12-inch Furuno multifunction display chart plotters. There's also autopilot. It's been fitted with a fish finder. There was a new sounder fitted this year in 2024. She's also fitted with 4G Wi-Fi, which is extremely convenient, of course, if you're heading off for a long distance of time. There's the engine controls to the single Doosan engine. There's the Fusion stereo that we just saw. And there's also an AIS transponder and a fish finder. There's quite a bit of refrigeration on board. That's the first of two refrigerators and one large freezer. The second of those is down in the galley, of course. And the helm seat has a bolster which can flick down naturally. If you're covering long distances, definitely want to be comfortable, and that can move up as well. Pardon me. So I think what we might do is leave the salon and move down into the first of the two cabins, which is situated near the stern of the boat. And at the moment it's situated, it's configured in an interesting way, and there's some scope here to change this for the new owners. There's two berths, two single berths like this. There's one on the port side and there's another one on the starboard side, and then you've got this lounging and a dining space just here. So a new owner could, come in and maybe reconfigure this into, maybe a double berth running across the beam if you wanted to do that, and that would give you a cabin with a head, obviously, that we can see here, which is fitted with a shower, pull-out shower nozzle, as well as a head, and you'd have then one double berth, as well as the berths forward in the bow, which we'll take a look at in a minute. There's some storage lockers here. There's obviously one just there, and there's another which is more shelving tucked away just in here like that. So bit of opportunity to do something different with the boat, but as it is quite usable, if you are happy just to have two single berths down here and another place to bring some food down here and rest on a long voyage, you can do that. Why don't we spin up out of here? We'll just dodge the opening hatch to the engine room for a sec, and we'll move forward down into the bow, and we'll have a look at the accommodation as well as the galley. I'll just duck my head underneath here. So just, I suppose the thing to remember is Thalassa is a 49-foot trawler, so you wouldn't expect an enormous galley down here, but very, very functional. Andrew and his friends took Thalassa away on many long trips for many days and weeks at a time, so definitely catered places to put plenty of crockery and all of those things. And then there's lots of refrigeration. This one is a fridge. There's the oven and the 3-burner hob just there, and then just in front of me, that's a large fridge freezer. So there's quite a bit of refrigeration and freezer capacity on board, which obviously you need that if you're heading away for a long period of time. So just forward from here is where we'll find the rest of the accommodation and the second head, which is just to my left here on the port side. So you can see there's a hatch just above the head, which is good for some natural light, and you can see here we've got a pull-out shower nozzle, so like a wet room situation. Still practical, still very usable, and that could use that for the dayheads, I suppose, as well as whoever's going to be sleeping in this cabin. And so at the moment you can see that this is set up with 3 single berths. There's all of that anchor chain attached to that big 55 kilo anchor in the bow. Great to see the hardwood planks there, isn't it? It's terrific. But 3 single berths, some reading lights like so. So if, as I said earlier, if you did have a double berth in the stern, then this might be the place to put your younger guests. Kids would probably love to be in here all together, having a great time. But there you go. So in total, 5 to 6 berths over those 2 cabins, and a pretty usable, practical, well-equipped galley. So we'll just come out of there, and I think the last thing to take a look at is the engine room. So I'll see if I can just lower myself down carefully with one hand down this ladder into the engine room. And we can talk a little bit about the engine and the performance and the sorts of range you can achieve. So I think we said right at the start, Thalassa's fitted with a single Doosan diesel engine. I'll put all of the specs up on screen there, but it's shaft drive and about 230 horsepower, which is going to give her a cruising speed anywhere from sort of 5 knots on the low end up to about 7 to 8 knots on the high end. And it is all about long range cruising, of course. And she'll sip away at those speeds at about 3 gallons or maybe 4 gallons an hour. I think I mentioned at the start there's about a 3,000 litre, which is about an 800 gallon fuel capacity. So that's going to give you those ranges of well over 3,000 nautical miles, which took Andrew and his friends to places from like Sydney to Fiji, Tahiti. He cruised the boat all up around New Zealand and Tonga. So some really long distance passages. Other equipment that Thalassa's been fitted with is the fire suppression. There's a 3-phase generator tucked down here, a freshwater maker, and then you can see here some of the fuel filters, I think they are. Yep, pretty sure they're the fuel filters for the boat. And then there's also 6 100 amp hour house batteries, another 2 100 amp hour starter batteries. There's the gen there, and another 100 amp hour starter battery for the generator. So Andrew went to great lengths to make it a really true seagoing long-range motor yacht, and it's in very good condition. It's about, well, I think I'll put that up on the screen. But why don't we move out of the engine room, back up into the salon, and we'll wrap it up. So there she is. What a fascinating boat. I hope you really enjoyed that walkthrough. Intriguing history, amazing ownership, and a boat that's available for sale. So if you or you might know someone who'd be interested in making an inquiry, all of those details are in the description of this video. And if you liked it, please subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, and share it with other people who like this kind of content. We have a lot of fun every week doing this, and it's great to see the audience growing and enjoying the content. But I think we'll leave it there. I'll see you next week on another video. Bye for now.